Hey, what's up, everyone? So, kind of just to lean into it, feel what Bane actually is going to feel like after all the curse changes, be playing it alongside all of you guys that are going to be trying it, and also just, continually trying to reinforce that Bane is a very comfortable, beginner-friendly, great build. If someone just wants something very trustable and reliable that they can go and play, that is very solo self-found and hardcore viable if you prefer. Doesn't go into fighting the uber bosses or anything, but for just a couple hundred chaos, you can kill all of the regular bosses in the game, get your 4 void stones, and just, have a great league starter. I'm going to be league starting Bane, and I just wanted to show you guys what I've done over the past couple days, my progression that I've done here, and just how that's gone. So roughly in about 11 hours played time, I hit tier 10 maps, and I was nearly deathless. I was going a little bit fast and loose. I was running Malevolence instead of Determination because we're just in solo self-found and not hardcore. For me, I'm very proud of this run, and honestly, I'm actually really happy that my capabilities have also been improving as I've been practicing. So what we have here is a level 79 character that does have tier 10 maps unlocked. As you can see, we've done some tier 10 maps. We have Kirak missions here at tier 10 maps. My plan was before the end of the stream to do like Eater Worlds and Searing Exarch kills just to, top off that progression right there, similar to what Jung Ron's been doing. But unfortunately, my map drops have just been really, really unlucky. I kind of stalled out. Like I got a couple tier 10s, kind of stalled out, and I just haven't had really good map drops after that. So yeah, unfortunately, we had to end the stream early at about 12 to 13 hours, like, actual playtime. I wasn't able to get the Searing XR kill down, but I am really happy with this progress so far, and I'm really encouraged with how it's been. Honestly, like after playing it again in the solo self-found start, I am extra encouraged and extra confident that this is a great league start for someone that just wants something that's like very, very comfy, and especially with the buff to single target for the less curse effect that we're going to be getting on Friday. Mapping is going to feel a little bit worse, but I think that's going to be okay. The single target buff, I think, is going to be really great, and I'm really excited to try that out. So yeah, what do you do when you first kill Kitava and, figure out what you want to do? So a lot of people will say don't do your Merc Lab before you kill Kitava. Depending on your build, I actually kind of disagree with that. I was running Purity of Elements when I killed Act 10 Kitava, and I actually had plenty of res right off the bat after that. You can just find some suffixes or some extra gear if you want to make up that res after you kill Kitava. I actually prefer to get a couple more levels to make my character a little bit stronger before I do my Merc Lab. And so I didn't do my Merc Lab until about level 68. I killed Kitava at level 62. We got like a couple more levels in the foothills just to get to like 64. So we were going to definitely get full XP while we were in maps. You don't want to be too different from the map level because there is an XP penalty. So yeah, basically what we did is I'm just going to write the things down in the order that they went and like what I was thinking as I was doing it. Also, in the description below, I'm going to link you guys to the VOD with a timestamp right when I killed Kitava, and then you can follow the rest of that progression there. There's a lot of fluff. It is the middle of a stream, so there's a lot of us like taking breaks and stuff like there, so you will have to skip forward. But I think that will just be better to have that on Twitch, and you can view it there instead of me just like uploading the same content. So yeah, if you just want to follow along, I'll link you to the timestamp in the description below. But I'm just going to write through like my thoughts and, what the progression was there. So yeah, we kill Kitava, we do a quick little gear check, make sure that, res is good. If there's any open prefixes, craft some life. Do a / passive check. We actually missed the Act 6 passives from the Cloven God, Aberath, and from the poison thing as well. So we had to go back and do the Act 6 passives. We grabbed those real quick. Those are really easy to miss. Quick check on your gems. Are there any utility gems that you have to talk to Lily to make sure that you get those ready to go? So just do a real quick, like 5-minute check on, make sure that your character has the stuff that it has. After that is, I try to get to about level 64 or so before mapping. You could go to like 62 to 63, but like the XP penalty, like if you want to rush, definitely that's fine. But I would rather just like make my character a little bit more powerful. I really like if you go into Merc Lab, you don't want to even risk failing it because it does take a good amount of time. So I would rather just my character be more strong. Merc Lab for me was not huge for the power spike of my character. If it is for your character, maybe you want to do that. But I just did some maps until I hit level 68, and then I did Merc Lab. And then we actually were able to do Uber Lab at 75, and it was really, really easy. What you're going to want to do is talk to Kirak. He will give you a map. You run that map. I do recommend as soon as he gives you that map, if it's not rolled up or anything, you could actually just craft it, scour, chisel, elk. You want every single map that you run. Craft every single map with every bit of currency. Use your vol orbs, use chisels, use every single sacrifice fragment. Sac frags will give you 5% quantity. Use every little piece that you have. Like, don't try to save it for later to like make it more efficient for your red maps later. Just like use it right away. That's how you're going to sustain your map drops ASAP. So you're going to get your map from Kirak. You're going to run that map. Most likely, you know, those tier 1 maps will have some pretty good map drops. As you're getting those map drops, always double check Kirak for maps to buy and his missions. So when you talk to Kirak here, every time that you run a Kirak mission, he will actually refresh his inventory. So like this is going to be kind of like your main progression flow here. Is you're going to be, you know, you're going to hold alt over these maps here. You're going to look for these ones that say incomplete. You want to buy these. You know, every single one that you can. I'm actually low on chance orbs right here. Also, if he is selling for chance orbs, like the other thing is fusings don't matter that much. Always remember that you can go back to the Karui Shores here or whatever vendor you want to. I like to go to Lonnie here. Is you can buy chance orbs from Lonnie. Where are they? Right here. Chance orbs for a single fusing, which, yeah, that's going to feel kind of steep because, you know, maybe you want to go for your 6-link later. But early on, when you kind of push that progression, take advantage of your currency. The value of that currency for what it enables for your character is worth so much. Like, I don't care about fusings right now at all, right? Like, I can use binding orbs on most of my things. I'm not going to roll another 5 or 6-link. I'm better off buying like 10 chance orbs right here. Go back to Kirak, buy every single map that you can. Missing these maps for your progression is going to be the #1 thing that holds you back. Absolutely go to her. And also you can buy scours for 4 chances, and then you can buy a regret for 2 scours. So every 8 chances is also a regret orb if you need to move some points around. Just like always remember that. Chance orbs and fusings, and then, you know, jewelers into fusings is like really, really, really good early currency for progression. So yeah, like I want to buy these. Like I want all of these maps for my progression. And then what you can do is, I'm going to scuff this right now just for demonstration purposes. You can hold alt over all of these maps here. You know, we actually really, really care about the quantity on our maps. You know, we want more items to drop. So the #1 thing that I'm looking at here is item quantity. Also, very nice thing about Bane is we can run every single map mod, literally every single one. All we have to do is sub in an Enduring Mana Flask for no regen maps, and then we can just run every single map mod, which is absolutely great for early progression especially. So all I'm looking for here is the big quant number, and we can see this one right here. Insane. 110% quant. This is just huge. Like, if I were in hardcore, right, I would be very, very careful about this. But since this is just regular SSF progression, and then all of this, of course, applies to trade as well. Since I'm in SSF progression, that, like, I want to take advantage of every currency that I can. And like, I don't care about dying once in a while, right? I've been pushing it as hard as I can. I've died 12 times. I died twice throughout the entire campaign. And then we've just been pushing like the scariest maps that we can. We don't care about losing a couple portals to just try to get our map drops and try to get some progression here. This is the map that I would click on. And then as you'll see, if I activate this, as soon as the portals open, you can look at Kirak and he has a refreshed inventory and we got new maps to buy. So just like keep that in the back of your mind, is like, this is the key, is like, you're going to be doing this Kirak, run your maps, and this you're just going to be going back and forth with Kirak and doing the maps, buying maps from him, getting more Kirak missions, and that's kind of like your flow. And then like when you run your own maps, the key is use every single chisel that you have. Always, you know, you can use binding orbs instead of your alchemy, like try to save your alchemies. So you're going to have a lot of binding orbs. Use your binding orbs on your maps. They're basically free elks. Chisel them and then even vol them to try to get as much quantity as possible. Not to mention that voling can also make it go up a tier. So when you want to push your progression to next tier mapping, then, you know, that's going to be really, really good. Other thing here is this is basically what you want to do. You know, it seems really cheap and like whatever. This is not for trying to get as much currency as possible. This is not your softcore trade like money strategy, obviously. We basically just want to go straight up, go through these Kirak nodes right here because we want to get as many Kirak missions as possible. And then we're going to just take all of the shaping nodes right here because they have chances for the maps to give you 1 tier higher, which is how you're going to push your progression as quickly as possible. Now, this can also be really, really good in softcore trade because if you get to those tier 16 red maps as early as possible, if you get to those bosses as early as possible, you can leverage those drops. You know, they're going to be worth multiple divines early in the league, whatever, if you get something like really, really good. So, you know, eye level 86 bases, all that type of stuff. This is something that some of the big boys do in softcore trade to make a lot of currencies. Just like push that progression early. I will also be going into Wandering Path because the value that we get for these travel nodes will then get doubled. And we don't really care about the big nodes quite as much here. With all of these nodes, especially these chances for additional connected maps to drop being doubled, this will actually just allow us to get tons and tons of map drops to like push our progression here. I do recommend probably unspecking Wandering Path a little bit later. And then we can also just end up filling out the quant nodes and then the additional like duplicated map nodes. We know this from, previously Wandering Path with a lot of the map nodes, we're just going to get tons and tons of map drops. Like basically once we hit Wandering Path, we take all these nodes right here and we'll just have tons of maps and the progression should go really easily after that. So that's the basic idea here. Go back and forth with Kirak, hold alt over these, do all that. Also for 8 chaos, you can buy a stack of 20 chisels. Generally don't recommend doing that. Chaos is pretty valuable very early on, but that is something that you can do if you really are just trying to push that progression hard and you're starting to get some pretty good chaos drops. That's what I've done. I'm at level 79 right now. I'll link the POB for what I have right here. This is not like a finalized POB or anything. This is basically like a rough solo self-found hardcore setup. Specifically, it's a wand and shield setup. The idea here is I just want to go as quick as possible. I'm flame dash and shield charging around and just kind of like baning and trying to pop packs as quickly as possible. And in fact, I'll demonstrate the map right here. This is, as we just saw, a very, very rippy map. And the way that I put this character together is I don't care about dying once in a while. The idea here is just to progress, go quickly. This is like the balance where I'm not trying to be like super squishy, but I want to go fast more than not die. The variation that I would do here, like I said earlier, is run Determination instead of Malevolence. Also try to sneak in Defiant Spanner, which you could do pretty easily, and then go for much more armor evasion bases. The thing is, my 5-link that I had drop in like Act 9, which was very lucky, it's a pure ES base, so we just can't really take advantage of that, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm basically just going for as much evasion as possible, ignoring armor, and I'm even using a Silver Flask just to go as fast as possible, trying to push my progression. I am not on the level of, Ben, Nick, or Jungron or anything like that. Those guys are just on a total different level. I'm just like I'm a solid player, and I just wanted to show you guys that like you could league start SSF Bane. You can get to tier 10 maps. I got to it in about 11 hours. Day 1 to day 2, you can already be fighting some of the big bosses and have really good progression and have a comfortable and fun build. So yeah, let's look at how this map goes right now. Basically, the playstyle here is we're shield charging, flame dashing, and just trying to like Bane and pop things. Pick up the loot that we want. Ooh, gold amulet. Gold stuff. Also, big pro tip. We're seeing this a lot more and more recently, and people recognizing this is rarity, especially in early progression, is pretty insane. It's pretty incredible. So, I don't know. This is a tier 10 map with a level 79 character, full SSF gear, and you can see that we're definitely getting hard carried by Profane Bloom, right? And I think that that's okay. It's pretty sick, and and Profane Bloom is actually getting buffed by 25% tomorrow. So we're gonna get even better, more consistent pops, which I think is gonna be pretty sick. Let me just kill the monsters here. I do want to show you guys the gear as well, just to make it clear. This is the only damage that I have. I think this dropped in like Act 9, Act 10, something like that. It's got some spell damage. It's got a little dot multi. We crafted more chaos damage on it. Just a little wand. Everything else is just regular stats and life gear, no damage on any other piece of gear that I have at all. Actually, while we're here, let me show you guys the wand that I was using before then. Oh, we've actually had some, like, this is what Rarity does. We had a Vixen's Entrapment, we got an Abyss Boss, we get an Alpha's Howl. Like, just getting some Rarity, especially for early progression, you're gonna get some pretty sick stuff. But yeah, this is the wand that we had before. Basically, what you want to do, you want an eye level 2 wand, and then you want to go to the beach, right here, or sorry, the coast. You want to go to the coast, and this says monster level 2. You get an eye level 2 wand. You can't get it from Nessa. You get an eye level 2 wand right here from the coast, and you can just alteration spam it. Yeah, so if we go to an eye level 2 wand right here, and we look for all of these, right? So chaos, unfortunately, is a lower percent chance. As always, chaos is considered like the, the special type. But we have a 1.5% chance to hit that as a prefix, which is actually pretty good, right? So on average, you're going to be able to hit this pretty reliably. If you have at least, 80 to 100 alterations, you'll probably see this. You'll definitely see like a lot of these. Pretty reliable. If you're in softcore trade, you'll be able to buy, you can buy one of these for like 1 to 2 chaos. And then you can also get shields that have that as well if you want more damage. But it is a little bit harder to roll on shields. So you can get, you can still play a shield variation, still using shield charge, going really quickly with, double +1. But this has over 100% increased spell damage for my character. This actually ended up being a decent amount more damage for this build, but gem levels, of course, are also really, really good. So yeah, I'll show you guys what the single target looks like as well. You know, this is a really rippy tier 10 map, level 79 character. This is my wand. This is my only damage, you know, nothing else. You know, the key here is what we want to do is we want to run in with Withering Step. We want to get those Wither stacks on it as quickly as possible. We also have Withering Presence. So, you know, within 15 seconds, we'll just have max Wither stacks 100% of the time because they last 15 seconds from Withering Presence. So we don't have to worry about Wither stacks from any other source. We just use Withering Step to like kickstart those Wither stacks right there. And then all we want to do is we want to keep our Bane, ED, stacks on the monster, and then channel Blight and use it as much as we can on top of that. And then we can just like kind of run around as safely as possible. So Wither in, Bane. If they're moving, ED can be a little annoying. Get our Wither stacks on there. And then as soon as they hit low life, you'll see that the punishment damage will be pretty good. And that is tier 10 boss damage. And this is before the buff on Friday. It'll be at least 20% more damage on Friday. Pretty good for the single target. You know, it's just mapping. It's not pinnacle boss damage, which will get significantly buffed on Friday. To me, that's like objectively solid, good damage for a big, rippy, 110% quant tier 10 map with a level 79 character in solo self-found. So to me, that's objectively pretty good. You can play it a little bit tankier if you want to use determination instead of malevolence. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the quality of this build in solo self-found. And, you know, hopefully this demonstration shows you that it's just a fun build to play. You know, it's not like the Giga Chad stuff that is going to be one-shotting Ubers on day 2. But, you know, if you want something that's just kind of fun and reliable, blows up the entire screen, you can play it more hardcore if you want to, more solo self-found if you want to. I think you can't go wrong. I'll just say that. So anyway, hopefully this was instructive to you. If you have questions about early solo self-found progression and how to just like get into those tier 16 maps, hopefully there were enough tips in this video to, you know, that'll help you out and answer a lot of those questions. And if you have any further questions or anything like that, please ask me on the stream live or join the Discord and we can get you going and having a great time in 3.20. So anyway, that's it for me today. I'm going to go get ready for the stream, and especially I got to rest up tonight and get ready for the launch tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.